Hello, and welcome to the fourth installment of the Young Folks Music Podcast. I'm Brian Gibbs, and joining me is Kevin Montez
Hey,
and Joey Danowitz.
Howdy.
And we were planning to do another podcast of this for a while, and then over the course of this week, among other interesting things that have happened with this website that we don't want to talk about, on Thursday, we got the news that Prince died, and that was unexpected more so than anything else, any of the other deaths that have happened this year. And we decided that we wanted to do a podcast about it in lieu of any other tribute ideas that we have. So where do you guys want to start with this?
where were you when he died?
I was in my bed.
Was I the one who told you?
You said like something cryptic like "no way" on Facebook, and then like I just like glanced at like my news feed, and I'm like, "Whoa!" So you didn't technically tell me.
I actually heard. I regularly walk around Newport just to get some exercise in, and I got a buzz like on the very start of my walk, and it was our TYF internal Facebook feed, and it was from Allie Johnson. Hi, if you're listening, telling us that Prince had died and it was on TMZ, and I like stopped in place and I made a pivot on the ball of my foot and went right back to my house. Like there's no way that I could have finished that walk after that.
Damn. Yeah, I was at work, and then my manager told me that he died, and I was like, "There's no fucking way he died." It's like it's probably a hoax. Like this cannot be, man. And then I just kept looking at the articles, and I'm like, "Damn!" Started crying, and then the worst part was, I was like, it was busy at work. I'm a waiter, so it's like I'm always constantly moving. I was there crying for like a minute, and I just tell a lady like, listen, she was getting a little snippy with me, like, listen, like, I'm sorry, like, I've been like dodging, like moving like all over the place. I'm just really busy. I'm by myself, and I was just found out Prince died. Then she looks at me with an eye. She's like, yeah, I know, I knew for an hour, like all snarky, and I'm like, damn, like, like, way to turn me down even more, like.
Well, this kind of reminds me. After Bowie died, I kind of made this big like creepy list of like, okay, these are the artists that we gotta watch out for, guys. These guys are 65. Um, and after Bowie, everybody was like, oh, all these artists, they're gonna die. I mean, the boomers are getting old. It's gonna happen soon. Nobody was like, oh, Prince, that's pending. That's gonna happen. So we got ourselves braced for all this death, but we didn't brace ourselves for Prince.
No,
We
like
didn't do that.
you have this giant list of people like Brian Wilson and Paul McCartney and Joni Mitchell, and I think
Bob Dylan at the top.
yeah, I think
Springsteen made that list.
when did you stop with the debuts? Like 73, 74?
65. 65.
Um,
Because, I mean, Bowie was 69.
and when did you stop, like year-wise, like their debut album?
Oh, right. Because I was like, flinging through my iPod music list. I stopped at like 73 or something. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You know more about my own process than I do.
Well, yeah, because I remember that. Whose Facebook feed did you post that on? Because I know it wasn't on your actual Facebook feed.
Oh, was it Tannenbaum?
Might have been.
It might have been Rob Tannenbaum.
Yeah, it was somebody who I wasn't friends with on Facebook that I can comment on it. And castigate you for excluding like Richard Thompson or something.
You should be friends with Rob. He's the funniest motherfucker.
And he just got that amazing movie deal for I Want My MTV.
Have you read the whole thing?
Yes, I own it.
It's amazing. And did you see all the anecdotes about Prince that he was posting?
Oh yeah. He took them all out of the billboard. Yeah.
They're delicious.
Yeah. Kevin, if you have not read I Want My
I have not.
MTV, especially in lieu of Prince's death, that's absolutely a book you gotta pick up. That's a really
right.
good.
all this weird shit that he does, and like he would like randomly get involved and like whisper in his manager's ear, like, and then the director would just like sit outside reading magazines while they directed the video.
Yeah. He said in there that the reason why Prince never worked with a really famous video director like David Fincher is because Prince needed complete and total control over his projects, and thus could never work with somebody like a Fincher or any other famous video director from the era whose names now escape me. But yeah.
Did you see the one about Sheila E.
Yes.
and her pants?
Yes.
Okay, Prince. Okay, there was some Sheila E. video. I don't know. And Prince at one point just randomly said she should have drumsticks on her pants. Everybody's kind of like, what the fuck does he mean? What the fuck does he mean drumsticks on her pants? And then like they meant like drumsticks like patterns sewn onto it. I have not researched pants, but apparently some people were talking like, you better not have drumsticks on those pants. Are you kidding? Of course she had drumsticks on the pants eventually, and they were the most ridiculous pants that the person had ever seen.
Yeah.
But Prince demanded it. It happened.
That's
not
the
fuck
thing.
with that.
So unlike Bowie, whose music is readily available, did Prince's discomfort with streaming and YouTube play into how you listened to his music after he died?
Easily. It's hard to find things. Like, at this point, like, I'm just probably going to end up having to torrent some of the stuff because it's so hard to find stuff on YouTube. Like, they really only have his singles, and sometimes, even if they do, it's really low quality.
They don't
Prince
have any
is one
of
of
his videos.
They don't even
Prince
have
is
any
one
of
of
his
those
videos.
artists. He's one of those artists that made sure that I torrented.
Or
You
bought
guys
his
remember? You guys remember when 2010 came out?
Yeah.
Not the year. Not when the year came out. When the album
Yeah.
came out. Okay, so I was in like a hotel for my grandparents' like 40th anniversary or something, and I see this come out, and I don't remember if this was the Internet is So Over comment. I think he had already made that, but he's like, oh, I'm releasing this in some weird way. Internet's not going to touch that, and like, I'm just over here on what CD, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, download.
Oh.
I don't think I ever listened to it. Now it's back on my iPod, ready for me to dive in. But yeah, his previous album before that, which was Lotus Flower and Minneapolis Sound, which both came out in the same day, in 2009. They were a little disappointing. They had some really good stuff, but yeah, I didn't expect great things from 2010 at the time.
But I mean, the way that I have it is that I do have a couple of his records. I have bought them from iTunes, but the fact that I couldn't go on to Spotify and listen to a B-sides collection or one of his '90s albums right away, I had to like either buy them, and I'm not necessarily gonna buy them, just listen to them once, or I have to reactivate my Tidal account, which I'm not wanting to do ever again.
There's a new excuse for that. There's a new excuse for that now.
I like Tidal. It's just I don't see the need for having to.
Apple Music's better.
I do like Apple Music a lot, mostly because Spotify doesn't really work on my computer, and because I don't have to open like 2 different programs to listen to all my music. I can just have all my stuff here, it all goes to Last.fm the same way.
I really hate that there are multiple streaming services that are competing and have exclusive stuff, which makes me again really comfortable that I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm over here in my own world. I don't need to worry about your baggage, music industry.
Well, I mean, Apple Music also won for me because they have the Peter Gabriel discography and they have the exclusive rights, I think, to Kate Bush's The Hounds of Love. So it's like, oh, I'm using that one.
They also had that good commercial that came out. Taylor Swift.
Where she falls?
Yeah,
where she falls rapping to Jumpman. And I watch lots of NBA playoffs now, and they keep playing that.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that it's limited the stuff that you can get online, and when Bowie died, people were sharing TV clips or music videos or like really really rare interviews or that amazing interview from MTV where he called him out live on the air for not playing Black Artists, and you don't get a lot of that with Prince now. I mean, the only ones I've seen floating around have been that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame performance. The
Yeah,
Grammy performance.
when I learned about it, I was like, oh man, what video am I gonna share? And then my next instinct was, wait, fuck.
I think the video that I was going to wind up sharing, and I couldn't find it, was the very, very, very first time he was on American Bandstand, and he like gave this really cryptic interview to Dick Clark, where he only talked in like single words.
Prince, man.
I think he was like 20 or 21 when that came out. He lied during the interview and said he was 19. It was like 20, 21. And
Yeah, the main thing I shared was his Super Bowl halftime performance.
oh yeah,
I was going to
yeah.
put that up, but I couldn't.
It started raining.
And he just that has been the best Super Bowl halftime show of my lifetime. Normally, I don't look forward to the Super Bowl halftime show. I don't even like football. I kind of avoid the Super Bowl, but
You
man,
still watch the Super Bowl halftime show. You gotta.
of course I do. But I mean, it's also Prince that year, and I had to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, he wasn't, because they were in that period where they were only, because like Janet Jackson scared them, so they're only going with oldies, right? So to speak. So they got Paul McCartney, who isn't that good anymore. They got the who isn't that good anymore. But then they got Prince, and Prince can still do his thing.
Yeah. Has there been any specific album or song that you've been listening to more than any other for the past couple days?
Purple Rain. That movie, I don't know. I started loving Prince just because Purple Rain was legit my childhood. Used to watch that shit since I was 10 years old. It used to always be on Fuse and BET. Just flip-flop through channels. It'd always be on. Made me think a lot about life and especially Prince, man. Like after watching that movie and like listening to the album, like all I did was listen to like the Purple Rain soundtrack, and then I decided to expand a little bit, and then I got the Batman soundtrack.
Man, it feels so weird to call Purple Rain a soundtrack.
Yeah.
Hey man, he won the Oscar for it. Who cares?
I know. I'm just like, it transcends a sound. How many soundtracks do that? Transcend the idea of being a soundtrack.
To the point where it's a studio, where people consider considered a studio, because it is a studio. It's his first studio revolution. And I mean, the crazy thing about Purple Rain is that the last 3 tracks are all performed live in concert. The first time that the band had ever performed those songs live.
Yeah. I remember a while ago I shared a video of him, and he did it at First Avenue, by the way. I think.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
it was like, it was this 15-minute Purple Rain thing. So they cut some stuff, but it's still really good.
Yeah, I mean, and also, I don't think a lot of people realize that, I Would Die For You, that's the live one? I think it might be of the big singles. It's I Would Die For You, Baby I'm a Star, and Pouring that are all performed live on the record. Like, they obviously got rid of the crowd noise. But, that just shows how incredible Prince and the Revolution were. I'm kind of sad that they never did another tour altogether.
Yeah.
So I live not in Minneapolis, but I'm about a 20-minute drive. I'm really in tune with Minneapolis, falling in everything. I'm more interested in Minneapolis than my actual host city, which is St. Paul. I live in the suburb, in case people listening don't know. But I'm all plugged in with what's going on in Minneapolis. So I'm looking at. Okay, first of all, you guys know First Avenue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I sometimes don't know how legendary it is, but
It's like your big famous music venue, like the
yeah.
930,
Although
like the
it's not
930 Club of the Roosevelt.
it's not that big, but it's our famous one. Yeah.
Like the 930 is in DC.
Yeah, it's sort of like our CBGB.
Mhm.
Although I can't really compare anything to CBGB in good faith. But anyway, the night that he died, all night dance party, no cover.
At First Avenue,
Yeah.
which is so inexorably tied to Prince.
Yeah.
And
No cover.
That was
You
one
get
of the things
it free.
that was one of the things I was going to ask you. Because you're from Minneapolis, Joey, or the Twin City area.
I was born in the cities, and I was raised in Minneapolis for about 2 years. Yeah.
Prince is an international celebrity, but he has special fondness to Minneapolis because he was a hometown kid and he never left.
Mm-hmm.
What has Minneapolis been like for the past couple days?
Well, there's so much going on. Well, first of all, what I want to touch on, when I woke up, and I don't know how late I was to the news. It seems like it was about 2 or 3 hours, but I woke up at like 1 o'clock my time to a message from this guy over here.
Hi.
Where he says, whoa, and I'm like, wait, what? And then I'm like, oh!
Like, how is this news being taken in Minneapolis is what I asked you.
Well, first what I want to say is there was precipitation.
Okay.
Alas, it was not snow in April, although a lot of people made that status. That would have been beautiful. That would have been the most beautiful thing ever. So we got lots of people noting, yes, there was rain. Perhaps, but not definitely, purple rain. So that was going on. That was going like every status you'd see, it would be like the rain is just a little bit purple today, or something too cute like that.
Yo, did you listen to
Sorry,
the
Facebook
Game's
friends,
tribute
you
song?
know I love you. The what?
The Game dropped the tribute song to Prince like the night of.
I have no
Yeah.
interest in the game in 2016.
But it's actually pretty good.
It's a Prince tribute.
He doesn't even talk about his usual stuff. He just talks about how Prince like made him who he is and what he's doing like to celebrate his life. That's what the rap song's about.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the best tributes. I mean, when Prince died, it wasn't so. It was like, okay, I can't even handle this. So I didn't even read a lot of the immediate writing. But there's been some great writing out of this, and some of the best have been from musicians who didn't quite know him, but were still major parts. Like the tribute that Paul Westerberg of the Replacements wrote is great, and the tribute that Bob Tribute wrote they're both incredible.
Thank you forever, Paul.
Yeah. And it just kind of goes like how Prince kind of transcended all musical genres.
Yeah. I mean, Minneapolis has still been doing stuff. They had like a huge dance party at Target Field last night. That's the Twins Field, in case anybody doesn't know. Do you guys remember? I just talked to Ryan about this. The 35W bridge, so the one that famously collapsed, that was lit up purple. Hopefully, maybe that's still going. And today there's some big clock tower in Minneapolis that's playing Kiss, 1999, Nothing Compares to You, and When You Were Mine.
Wow, yeah.
And they just did that like 36 minutes ago. So they're still going. Minneapolis still doing its Prince thing.
Like, did they replace the chimes, or is it one of those clock towers that's like on a recorder, and they just replaced the recording of the chimes with the song?
I think. I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with Minneapolis clock towers, but it seemed like a reasonably big deal.
Yeah.
Facebook was doing that. Oh, you can watch this live thing.
I hate those.
Yeah.
There are ways to like opt out of it notifying you, but it's nice to see like options to look at it in your feed.
Yeah. Do you have a particular favorite Prince song, particular one that's not as well known as some of his big giant hit singles?
When You Were Mine wasn't the same.
I pointed that out to you. Yeah. Which has kind of become one of his more famous album tracks. Kind of.
I mean, for the past like 6 months, that's actually been like a song that I've been like bumping on replay, and I just love the way that it sounds like his fingers zoom across those guitar strings, and it sounds like such a bare song, sort of like an early Beatles type thing, and I keep listening to that on replay, and the verses are so interestingly constructed because you have 12 lines in the first verse, you have 8 lines in the second verse, you have 4 lines in the third verse, and it's such this perfect minimal craft. So like that's the song I've been returning to most. Although what I've been trying to do since he died is explore different stuff.
You started listening to For You, right?
Yeah. Before I got caught up in stupid local political conventions. But For You, I mean, the song construction isn't there, but his sort of aesthetic is like, oh wow, I thought this was just gonna be kind of like a meek thing. No, well, dude had it figured out in 1978.
Kevin, same question. What songs have you been repeating, and in particular anything that's not as well known?
Darling Nikki.
Oh.
Did you guys see the Vine of the guy on the Senate floor reciting lyrics from Darling Nikki?
Yep.
Nope.
Oh, gee. Yeah,
Using
dude.
it to filibuster?
Mm-mm.
Oh, gee. The songs that I've been kind of going back to have been She's Always in My Hair, which was the B-side to Raspberry Beret, which I think is one of his best B-sides.
Mm-hmm.
If you like the really psychedelic stuff on Around the World in a Day, that kind of sounds like it listens to a lot of the Bangles and 3 O'Clock and Rain Parade. That's a great song. I also really like 200 Balloons, the B-side to Bat Dance, because it actually sounds like a real song, as opposed to whatever the heck Bat Dance was supposed to be. And just in general, yeah, a lot of his singles, a lot of his full albums. I've been kind of revisiting him the way that I have with Bowie, but obviously not similarly because he's not streaming anywhere that I can just, grab his stuff and listen to it once.
Did Prince say anything about Bowie? Do we know?
He played Heroes at his penultimate show. He did 2 shows during the last concert that he did. He did an early show, he did a late show. The early show, he played Heroes. And I am not prepared to listen to Prince play a Bowie song right now.
Do we know if he like said anything about Bowie when Bowie died, or?
He's kind of notoriously secretive. I don't think,
Yeah.
especially now because when you search for David Bowie Prince, all you get is David Bowie Prince died in the same year, or it's the Heroes performance that is probably going to be very well known now. I mean, it's on SoundCloud, but I don't think it's going to stay very long. Considering. Do you guys have any first specific memories of listening to Prince? We all kind of grew up in the 90s.
It's always been there. I'm in Minnesota, so I don't have any really first specific memories.
Prince was kind of somebody who was just, always there. Unlike Bowie, which I kind of had to, find a little bit, he was kind of on the radio, but not that much. Prince in the 90s was always on the radio in my area, because our local top 40 station was what my parents made us listen to.
Mm-hmm.
They played a lot of 80s recurrents, like, well into the 2000s, and they would always play, like, the performing hits and singles from Parade and 1999, so it was always there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What?
Do you have any specific early memories of listening to Prince?
Um, well, not really, because I didn't even know who Prince was until I saw Purple Rain. I just kept hearing about him, but never really knew until I saw Purple Rain, and I was just like, that's the man right there.
And when was that?
That's it. I'm 20, about to be 22, 2004.
Okay.
Wow.
Anything else you guys want to touch on?
Well, I do. This is funny. Okay, my dad died earlier this year. For listeners who don't know that, in January. So pretty close to the Bowie time. Do you guys remember that really devastating Minnesota Vikings loss?
Yeah,
1998.
yeah.
Do you know about that, Ryan?
I know almost nothing about sports.
Okay, so basically, what happened was we had like one of the best seasons ever, like ever. Our kicker had unprecedentedly never missed a kick.
Oh, this is that thing that John Boyce did.
No, not that.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I would love it if John Boyce did that, but no. So we made it to the semifinals, the conference finals, and we sent out our perfect kicker to make a shot that he's very capable of doing. That would have won the game.
Mm-hmm.
And first time all season, dude misses,
Wow.
and everybody in Minnesota remembers this vividly. And my dad would write kind of like sort of Weird Al-ish parody songs.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad wrote a song about the Vikings at the time called Purple Pain.
Well,
So yeah.
so it gives more Purple Pain this year.
The same year. So that's something that I'm remembering lately.
You should make the song an actuality and spread it across the world because there's a lot of Purple Pain this year. You lose the Vikings and you lose Prince.
Make it actually 8 minutes long. You hold those guitar solos with your mouth, So, what do you think Prince's legacy is going to be?
Honestly,
Oh man.
I know the legacy he'll leave to me is the spread of love. I always like to, I always give everybody a chance. Like, I love everybody until you do something that's very treacherous. And then, obviously, I can't really like somebody who screws me over. But, no, I don't know, man. Prince, like, he always taught me that's, like, you give everybody the chance. Everybody has their own unique quirks, and this is going to be something to love. I mean, that's what I tried doing with the Tyler Perry movies, and
Joey
Princeton sounds more like okay. Well, there's a lot. I noted this, and there's sort of a kinship that he had with David Bowie, in that they both really tried to challenge gender norms. And Prince, for instance, was just obsessed with the character Camille. That he wrote, "I was your girlfriend, and if I was your girlfriend," and stuff like that under. And I think that's going to be one of the lasting legacies about different. Like him and Bowie both taught us very different ways to be men. Like I said, including ceasing to be men at all. That's sort of one of the things. He taught us not just to love, but to fuck.
mm-hmm.
I think his message was almost less love everything and less try to fuck everything.
I had a feeling this was going to be our first explicit podcast on iTunes.
Sorry.
Have to be. It's the Prince episode.
It's the Prince episode.
I mean,
yeah, and one of the things I was thinking about yesterday was, what kind of a word is Prince? How do you take a word as already big as Prince, and suddenly it becomes associated only with you? How big do you have to be that?
Second question, like not just that, how big do you have to be for you to completely own an entire color? the way that Prince did, to the point where there were tributes to Queen Elizabeth II that were all in purple the same day, and there ain't,
Niagara Falls.
ain't tributes to Queen Elizabeth II anymore.
Nope.
Because Prince completely owns the color purple. I mean, there are people that when they see the color purple, they think of Prince more than any of the other things that purple signifies. Purple signifies a bunch of different things, but to a lot of people, it does signify, especially now, Prince.
Purple signifies Jimi Hendrix a little bit too, of course, as Wolf Blitzer taught us.
All television things.
Wolf Blitzer, for context for people listening, he was like, "Oh, remember his song Purple? Remember Prince's song Purple Haze? Man,
Wow.
Not as embarrassing as Brian Williams, who has completely lost his mojo with breaking news, going through his live news feed of Prince's death on MSNBC, talking like me right now on a informal podcast, with all these ums and uhs and pauses. And he was the previously unflappable Brian Williams. This wasn't the last time he did this, because when the Paris attacks happened, he just kept hammering over and over and over again that the Eagles of Death Metal had been on Comedy Bang Bang more than any of the other updates that were happening. He just kept repeating it like 6 or 7 times during the live feed. And this is another disappointment that Brian Williams kind of bungled reporting on the death of Prince live on MSNBC. And as a journalism guy, as a reporter, as a working reporter, it just kind of makes me sad that somebody of that stature can not do a good job reporting on that breaking news. But of course, I'm also not a television news guy, so
Yeah.
One more question before you leave. What do you think the fate is of all the stuff, of the hundreds and hundreds of things that are in the infamous vault at Paisley Park?
Wait, what was the question?
What do you think the ultimate fate is going to be for the hundreds of unreleased things in the Paisley Park vault that's so famous?
I think what you got to do is get somebody with the sort of mind for releasing that kind of stuff. I don't know, maybe get somebody like Questlove and put them in charge of doing it. I don't know.
Questlove should be in charge. I've never met a bigger fan than Questlove.
Yeah.
Or maybe I think a DVD of Finding Nemo should be in charge.
Oh, gee, that story. Everybody has a Prince story. Joey, because you're from Minneapolis, did you ever encounter Prince ever?
I didn't. I have friends in college who lived almost right by him or whatever, but I didn't encounter Prince.
Did you ever hear any Prince stories from any of those friends?
I didn't. It was weird. I think he always kept it kind of low profile until he really wanted to go high profile.
And yet, like just a couple days before he died, he biked to his favorite record store and bought a bunch of albums on CD, mind you. Prince still bought CDs.
The internet is over.
At his favorite record store that he's been buying stuff at since he was a kid. That was kind of endearing. When the last thing he did was not only shop on Record Store Day, but not buy any of the exclusive Record Store Day junk. Just bought records that he can't not have already owned. There's no way Prince didn't already own Stevie Wonder's Talking Bucks.
Yeah.
So I wonder, were those gifts to friends, or did he just want to buy albums at his favorite record store?
I don't know. And 8 days ago, he was at the Warriors game. Playoff opener.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. He just performed 2 concerts in a day. There was that emergency plane landing in the Quad Cities that we all thought were told it was just an emergency flu thing. And when that happened, I know you and I were all like, oh, don't kill Prince 2016, and then the year killed Prince a few days later.
Yeah.
Alright, well, before we sign off, is there anything else you guys would like to add? Joey?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for the 4th episode of the TYF podcast. Our next episode will be in... And, yeah, hopefully we don't have to do another one when
Somebody dies.
someone else dies or our Captain America Civil War review gets 500 comments.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
that's a whole other can of fish I don't want to talk about. I run our social media pages, and that's been a week. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us for the 4th episode of the TYF podcast. I'm Ryan Gibbs. These were Joey Danowitz and Kevin Montez, and we will see you next time, whenever that
Peace
is.
and love.
Take care.